Welcome back to the Crossover Talk Show. I'm your host, Travis Garrison. We'll be talking sports and life. Today, we're touching on some very important topics. We'll be talking about giving back, helping the community, different organizations that's doing it. And with me, we have Mr. David Smith from Food for Thought. Hello, sir. Welcome to the show.
How you doing, sir? Thank you for having us.
No, absolutely. Food for Thought. I've worked with this organization a number of times throughout this past year, especially during the pandemic. So when did Food for Thought start?
Food for Thought started at the onset of the pandemic. Donovan and Steve, two friends, got together, and they like to say over a Chick-fil-A sandwich. And as they were sitting and contemplating and looking at some of the issues and concerns that were evident in the community before the pandemic started, and certainly during, they had this idea of feeding families. Not just feeding them, but giving them healthy options and food choices to eat, educating them on how to prepare meals and so forth and so on. So as a result of that lunch and that opportunity of sitting down, talking one with another, we have at this juncture fed over 100,000 families.
Wow, that's definitely incredible. And you're talking about within a 2-year span feeding over 100,000 families.
Definitely.
And I've witnessed how you guys operate, and because I had my backpack giveaway and food drive last August, and just to see, that was my first time teaming up with Food for Thought, and just to see the operation of it. Now, people think that giving back and doing food drives is like, oh, we're just gonna do it. It's so much more complicated than that. You're talking about giving back, and that's all commendable, but they don't see what goes behind the scenes.
Most definitely.
I was in those back rooms where, as we talk about bagging up hundreds of bags and getting the food together, and just the operation of it all. How did you all get that going so smooth? Like, I wish you guys could have just seen the operation that they had. I'm talking about, you had so many people that came out and volunteered their time, and they didn't get, we're not talking about getting paid for these things. And you're talking about working from, the times will start from like 4 p.m. until like 12 a.m. in the morning.
Most definitely.
Just to pack up foods and get it ready, just to give back to the community. So what was the mindset behind that, and the way you guys run your operation? What was the thought process behind that?
Well, I mean, I think you said it. We cannot thank the volunteers and partners that we have worked with and shared with over these last few years. And without their support and without their help, the work that we do would have not been possible. And as you said, there are a number of hours that are invested, sweat equity that's invested, and again, without the help and support of the volunteers, can't say it enough, because we are a grassroots organization. Much like your previous guests, we haven't had much funding and consistent funding, so no one has been paid, no one is on salary.
Right.
And a lot of the effort has come from raising money the old-fashioned way, pulling out a hat and passing it around, begging, hours on the phone. So without those volunteers, again, I can't say that enough, without volunteers, the work that we have done would not have been possible. And as you said, we're just grateful to have had the support of all of those volunteers. And much of where we are today is a result of folks just coming together, collaborating and cooperating one with another.
Right. And like you said, you guys team up with another number of different organizations, and y'all have a number of different sponsors that people that kind of bought in. What was that process like to even get there? Because you're talking about in the height of the pandemic, you said. So to have, and obviously the pandemic kind of came out of nowhere in a sense, so everybody's kind of scrambling to get things done. And then you guys came together and basically said, look, these people need to eat.
Yeah.
Especially during these tough times. People need to eat. So how was it getting those sponsors? Because it's not the easiest thing to do. What was that struggle like to get the partnerships and the sponsors to get behind what you guys were doing? Because when you first start out something, ain't too many people believe in what you're doing.
Yes.
And then like you said, especially when you're talking about a non-profit thing, people always thinking that there's some type of game behind it, or it can't be trusted. What was that process like for you guys?
I can tell you sometimes blessings occur in the midst of chaos. I remember our founder, Donovan, almost being brought to tears one Thursday, Wednesday afternoon in a parking lot, having a distribution planned, and all of the sponsors pulled out at the last minute. And seeing him in that state, knowing that he had to deliver because he had promised, and I believe this was an event we had scheduled with the school, and promising families that we would be there, knowing that advertisements had been out. It was a very tumultuous space and time to be in. I remember him, I was there as he was calling and begging and scratching and, just looking for resources. So I can tell you that it hasn't been an easy process. But the one thing that I can tell you is that being persistent is the key. And if you believe God has put you in a particular space to work and to serve, it is not necessarily your responsibility to figure out everything. Wherever God leads you, it's God's responsibility to provide and give you the resources. So it hasn't been an easy process, but thankfully, over the course of time, with persistence, and again, I have to use this word again, sweat equity, we've been able to assemble a team. Over the years. It has gotten better over time. And it's still getting better. And we do anticipate in time we will be better in time than we are today. So I would just encourage anyone out there, if you have an idea, if you want to serve, get started wherever you are. And if you believe, more importantly, that God is leading you, then wait and watch God make the provisions for you. Some people have been exceptional in difficult times. I mean, things have happened in spaces of time that we couldn't even imagine would happen. Absolutely. But it wasn't food for thought. It wasn't the founders. It wasn't any individual per se. We know, most importantly, it was God. And forgive me, but it sort of brings me to the point, I believe, and I just want to say this. I don't know why this is in my head to this degree, but I recall an instance in Scripture where Moses was met with a quandary, and he was trying to figure out how to work it out. And the response that he was given from God was, "What's in your hand?" And I would just say that we got a lot of stuff in our hand. If we would put it to use and hand it over to God, God will exponentially expand what we have and use it for the benefit of our community.
Absolutely. I definitely can agree with you on that. And that's hitting home base with me on a number of different ways. I'm glad that you said that. And for you all that do not know Mr. Donovan Benton, great human being. I just met the guy last year right before my food drive, and when I said I got introduced to him, and I don't know if he was going through an illness, but he was still willing to come through for me and my organization. My first time doing a food drive, but he was like, and we was giving him the benefit that he was sick and he wasn't feeling well. But there's no reason why he should have been helping me during that time. But he was like, "I got you." And he was there. I'm talking, he was in there packing up the foods with us, making sure the operators. And this guy I'm talking, there's no way that he should have been but he came through. That's just the type of heart that Mr. Benton has. And when you see him out there, he's an older gentleman, but when you see him out there, the way he's moving, how he's operating, how he's putting things together, you know that he has a passion for it. And like you said, this is not about money or anything, because nobody's getting paid. This is strictly volunteering, and just his passion behind it. Now he's about getting it done. he's a very structured individual, but that's because he cares so much about helping other people, and he see the things that's needed in his community and what's provided. And sometimes, like you said, there's been times that people fell out or things wasn't going, but he found a way to get it together.
It's done. He gets it done.
And like you said, in regards to the volunteers, man, I seen it firsthand, and it's just like a smooth running operation. It was like I said, even just doing my first food drive, how the people that didn't know me, but they came out there on the strength of Mr. Donovan Benton, And he said, just get me. And they got me. And they had that thing running smooth. And you would have thought that I did this food drive many years. And that was my first one. But like you said, the volunteers came out and they gave their all. They had things running super smooth. But and you guys was doing that. These Food for Thought was doing a food drive giveaway every single weekend. Every single weekend. And if you guys knew what went behind doing that, I was drained for like 4 or 5 days. I was drained for like 4 or 5 days after my food drive. And I'm just like, you guys do this every single weekend.
Yeah.
Every single weekend.
It's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge. And I can't tell you the feeding 100,000 families. I can't tell you what that weighs in total weight. But it is a significant burden to sacrifice to make that happen. There are costs associated with that, literally and figuratively, but the work must go on. And as you said, Donovan Benton is an amazing person. He has done that through sickness and health, and is committed to the cause. And, I just want to add that the goal is not just to feed families. We want healthy options. I think that if you look in the community, there's a fast food chain on every corner. But as your previous guest said, we need healthy options. Right. So that we could rid ourselves of some of these health implications that we're suffering from.
Right, absolutely, and you guys are definitely doing that because of the type of food you guys provide. Mm-hmm. And you guys not just providing food, like you said, you're providing health options, different options, and you have, like I said, sponsorships and organizations coming together, and y'all all doing it together.
Yes.
And Mr. Ben is big on that. Yes. He's not about, this is just for me. Every time I came out and I partnered with you guys, or we did something together, every time I came out, he was always introducing me to somebody. That's how we met.
Yes, it is.
My DeMatha Staggs brother right here. We found out that we was brothers, through DeMatha. But that's how Mr. Ben was doing it. He was introducing me to everybody that came out and was like, you need to meet this brother. You need to. That's just how he is. It's not about, this is mine. We're doing this by ourselves. He's like, how can we all come together and do this together? Because even after the pandemic, he's always stressing. Even after the pandemic, people still got to eat.
Yes.
People still got to eat. Yes. After this little stint is gone and people going back to work, there are people and families out there that still need food and different options, like you were saying.
Most definitely. Without question. We're suffering from what's called a food insecurity. Right. And not only do we not have enough food options, but we need healthy food options to go along with that.
Right. Absolutely. So definitely, I want you guys to stay tuned. We're going to have some more from Mr. David Smith from Food for Thought. Definitely things that you guys need to know and understand about. And just stay tuned. We got more information to come and about their upcoming event that you guys definitely need to know about. So stay tuned to the Crossover Talk Show. Welcome back to the Crossover Talk Show. I'm your host, Travis Garrison, where we're talking sports and life. We're talking with a very special guest right now, Mr. David Smith from Food for Thought, an organization that's basically out here that fed over 100,000 families between now and almost 2 years. Like I said, I've worked with this organization a number of times, and I love working with you guys because of we're not just out there working, but we're having fun doing it. We're having fun doing it, and just to see the way the train moves and how you guys move, and then it's literally like a family.
Yes,
it's literally like a family. I said, God, however I can help. That was always my thing because Mr. Donovan he took me in and he said, I got you. things I'm trying to do in the community. He's like, whatever you need from me, what's mine is yours. Mm-hmm. And that's just the type of brother that he is. Yes, he is. And I want nothing but the best from Food for Thought because of the heart. Yes. Like you say, a lot of people are out here with different organizations, and they basically are doing things for the money. Yes. You know, like you say, you got nonprofits. Yeah. That's why a lot of people are skeptical about where's the money going. Yeah. Why are you guys already doing this? And I know personally, by working with you guys, that it's strictly about the work. Nobody's looking to be compensated. Mm-hmm. Afterwards, we go get some food, we hang out, and we joke around. And this is after hours from the day before to the day after working for hours. After that, we still stay behind, and we talk and we eat, and we basically come together in family. So what's the benefit and love behind that aspect in regards to when you was dealing with it and going through it, like just that whole process?
Well, I'm a lifelong resident of Prince George's County. Mm-hmm. I've lived here, product of a single parent. And one of the things that was instilled in me from the beginning is that I'm blessed to be a blessing. And I believe that Food for Thought gives me an opportunity to practice what's been preached to me and what I preach in this day and age. It gives me an opportunity not just to be blessed, but to be a blessing. And to see the faces of those volunteers, to see the faces of those persons who come and we're served throughout those distributions. It's awesome to see and incredible to see that we are providing a resource that is much needed. One of the things that you participated in with us as well, we not only did food distributions in the community per se at schools and churches and so forth, we were able to do several at the hospital. Just as a sign of appreciation and gratitude to those first responders that are working on the front lines, to give them turkeys and food baskets and little trinkets to say thank you and we appreciate you spending more time at work and less time with your family over this incredible pandemic that we've lived through. So Food for Thought is an awesome opportunity for us to just show a level of gratitude and really spread the goodwill in the community.
Absolutely. and that's, like I said, that's is very commendable. And then just to see the faces, like you said, the faces of the people that's receiving these items and how grateful they are. That's a blessing. Like you said, it's a blessing to be a blessing. Mm-hmm. And like you said, no volunteers are getting paid for this, but they're doing it out of the goodness of their hearts. Yeah. They're taking away from their Saturdays. They couldn't be out enjoying their weekend. Yeah. You know what I mean? They work Monday through Friday, then they have the weekend off, but instead you have people come in right after work. Yes. Right after work and come in and get to work. Yes. In the warehouse, basically bagging up foods that can, like you said, go to 12 or 1 in the morning. Yes. Then got to turn around and wake up and get to the facility by 7 a.m. And be there until about 3, 4 p.m. Yes. And like I said, but a lot of times people only see the game time. That's what Mr. Donovan say. It's showtime. Most definitely. It's showtime, and he shows up. Most definitely. Like I said, putting all these. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you that it takes days to prepare for a distribution. Not only do we have to package food and organize lines and things of that nature, but sourcing food can take weeks at a time just for one event. And I know this personally, that Donovan has spent days without sleeping, sourcing, packaging, organizing, and then the day of, you have to get all of the keep all the balls in the air and all the people moving forward. So it is an extraordinary occurrence just to prepare for one distribution.
No, absolutely. Like you said, people don't see behind the scenes. They just see the day of from 3-4 hours, but like you said, it takes weeks. And I had conversations with him, and it's just in the way he wants to maneuver and operate. I mean, it's not just coming in and doing it. It's like, no, it has to operate like this, this. It has to be organized. Most definitely. He's definitely a stickler about it. For sure. But because it's not for us, it's for the people that we're serving. For sure. And speaking of serving, you guys have an event coming up this weekend on the 16th. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Sure.
Saturday is going to be a celebration. It's going to mark another year around the sun for this organization. It's going to mark an additional year of service. thousands of families served. We have community partners. We have touched all 9 districts in Prince George's County. We have touched a number of schools throughout this county, more than I can recite off the top of my head. There's going to be some of our civil servants that will be there. We're going to be passing out some awards to our partners, to people who have been instrumental in the work. And we're going to also have some distributions that will take place. We're going to have representatives from the health community that's going to help us kind of in this space and time. So we want all of you that can come and celebrate and share with us. Come on out. If you know someone that would benefit from the distribution, obviously we're going to be there to serve them. But more importantly, we just want to celebrate another year around the sun. We want to just celebrate the work that we've done. And we want to invite each and every one of you to come on out and share and celebrate with us, because we recognize that the work that we have started is going to continue. And we want not only you just to come, watch, and celebrate, but we want to invite your participation in the days to come to share with us as well.
Absolutely. I'm definitely going to be there to help and help celebrate. Definitely, I think that is huge what you guys are doing. I think you say you guys are doing COVID tests out there, correct?
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
COVID tests, giving out awards, and like you said, we have different people that's from the community, councilmen, delegates coming out. Yeah. I know Nick Charles has been definitely at every event I've been to. He's there, so you definitely have some of these people that stay on the front lines. That's there. They're not just talking about it, want to be. They actually are in along, like you said, different organizations. People coming out to basically service the community, not just talk about what they want to do, but they're actually out there showing by example and doing it.
Yes, I can say firsthand that our community leaders and representatives have been instrumental in supporting us, and we do anticipate that they will be equally as involved as we move forward. And the work that we have done to date and the work that we anticipate doing would not be possible without all of the community leaders that have shared and worked with us along this way. So we're just grateful to each and every one of you. Again, I'm not going to mention any names for fear that I'll miss somebody out. I'll forget someone's name. But on Saturday, we're going to celebrate you. On Saturday, we're going to champion your efforts and certainly raise our arms in unity with the understanding that we're going to continue to work to make Prince George's and the area surrounding us a better place to live.
Absolutely. Like I said, I think that's huge. Before I let you go, are you guys thinking about, because how big you guys are here in this community, PG County, are y'all guys looking to branch out and basically go further? I know it's a lot of work, and I see that. It's not easy. People like, no, it's not easy. Listen, it's not easy serving the community. Yes, we love to do it. Yes, it's God's work. We know it's not about us. It's something bigger than us. So whether we're tired or not, we don't want to get up. We got to do it. Yes. It's out. We're fortunate enough to do it, so we have to do it.
Most definitely.
So are you guys looking to branch out further beyond PG County and basically become bigger, or are you just sticking to PG County for right now?
No. We have wheels and we will travel. We have worked as far as Loudoun County in Virginia. We also have roots in DC. We've served and partnered with other organizations. So we're not prejudiced, and we're ready. We're one of the things, we are human, and we've got to recognize and celebrate the humanity in all. And that's across all communities, all races, nationalities, and people.
Right. So is things now running more smooth now because of the work that you guys are doing? Do you see more people that want to come aboard and be a part of it? Because like you said, when you start out, a lot of people don't want to be a part of that start out process, but as things ramp up, and they see what you're doing, they see that you're serious.
Yes.
They see that you're serious. And I know even before I did my event, that was the main thing that before I got introduced to Mr. Donovan, was that I got to be serious. Mm-hmm. This can't be no one-time thing. You just come in here and do it, and then you leave. It's not about that. It's bigger than that. You have to be consistent. That's what you're talking. Be consistent. Mm-hmm. You can't just come out and do one. You guys do one every weekend.
Yeah.
Every single weekend.
Yeah. The work has been challenging, and as you said, we've tried to be consistent over the years, and the goal is to maintain that level of consistency. I would not say it's been smooth.
Right.
I would not say it's been easy. And we do not anticipate the ease in the days that lie ahead. But we are committed to the task, and we'll continue to be faithful to the work as best we can.
Absolutely. I definitely want to appreciate you taking time out your busy day.
Thank you so much.
to come on the Crossover Talk Show and basically give information about Food for Thought and the great things that they're doing in the community, and it's a necessity and it's needed. This organization is definitely needed. How can people help donate, become a sponsor? How can they?
Well, you can first start. You can first show your sign of appreciation by coming out and sharing with us. I want to read this. If you have any correspondence, you can reach us at dbenton@foodforthought.org. That's DBENTON at the letter 4, the letter F, the number 4, thought, THOUGHT.org. Certainly any level of appreciation that you want to share is much appreciated. Again, we are a grassroots organization, and we are also a 501c3 organization, so your help and support is most needed.
And it is needed, and they are needed in the community. I definitely appreciate the work y'all do. Continue to do the great work that y'all doing. Thank you guys for joining us today. Thanks for joining the Crossover Talk Show with your host, Travis Garrison. If you're a student athlete or know a student athlete that would love to be a part of the show or would love to be featured on the show, be sure to go to crossovertalkshow.com. Also, remember, always in this life, remember to think first about your choices before you make them. Not just think about your now reaction to your choices, but think about how it can affect your tomorrows, your future, and how it can affect the other people around you. And if you want to be a guest on the show, you have an organization or things that you're working on, we're proud and honored to have you on the show. Thanks again for joining the Crossover Talk Show with your host, Travis Garrison. Be sure to tune in next Wednesday as we continue to roll. Thank you for your time.